Good afternoon to all of us. My name is Winnie and I am joining you from Nairobi. And welcome to today's session. Good to see you. I can see we already have some comments in. We have Francis, we have Steven, we have Naomi. Thank you so much for joining today's class. Has been my pleasure. I'll be hosting you even in the session. And today we are going to talk about how do you work with Workspace. And this session has been brought to you by Africa 118 in partnership with Google Digital Skills for Africa. So welcome again. My moderator will be Elia in the comment section. So if you have a question, if you have feedback or comments, you can put them in the comment section and I will be able to sample even as we proceed in the class. And also just to let you know, let me know what your energy levels. Are you at 10? Are you at 9? And probably what is your business name and where are you joining us from in this great nation of Kenya? So, just to get us started, we are going to look at our agenda. What is our agenda for today's class? And one of the things is we want to understand what Google Workspace is, what tools are available, what are its core functionality, and what are some of the benefits of using this digital workspace. And additionally, also we are going to look at how do you boost communication across your business? How do you use the Google Workspace to boost communication? And how do you leverage or explore the tools that can be able to help you even in collaboration of your business. So before we get us started, just to remind us, we have a free bootcamp available from Google. It's a week-long bootcamp. My moderator will be able to share with you in the comment section the sign up so that you can sign up into this bootcamp. And remember, it's a free bootcamp. You'll be able to learn a lot of things severally. We have a couple of us who have already joined the bootcamp and they can attest to it that has been helpful to their businesses. But so moving on, my moderator will share the link in the comment section so that after this class, you'll be able to join in. So currently, what tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? So for example, we have the likes of Slack. For example, if you use the Slack channel, that is also one possible way. So I'm keen to hear from you. What are some of the tools you use to communicate and collaborate within your business? So let me look at the comment section as I have one comment and then I'll be able to proceed. I can see we have Naomi. Naomi, welcome so much. Your mom's by Kari, yes. I see we have Beryl, we have Joki. Welcome on board, Joki. I see you are so enthusiastic to even join this today's class. I can see Naomi saying you are at level 9. That's good. I'm hopeful this session will give you the one that has been named so that you are at level 10. So just like I said, what are some of the tools do you currently use to collaborate or communicate within your business? Yes, I can see Simon is saying you use WhatsApp. Yes, yeah, WhatsApp has really become a useful tool in communicating even within official communication and even just casual communication between colleagues. I see. Thank you so much. So today we are going to learn about a separate tool that can also help us to collaborate, and which in today's class is Google Workspace. So moving on, so what really is Google Workspace? And just to let us know, does any of you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how? Like for example, for me, I use the Google Drive. I save my files in there. I collaborate with the teams. I send emails. So probably with you, how do you currently use the Google Workspace? If you have, and how do you use it? So let me check the comment section, see if you have responses, and I'll be able to sample a bit of that. So let me check again a comment section, see what we have over here. Yes. I can see Elia has already shared. Yes, that's how you um, and that's how you join in the bootcamp. So let me know, how currently do you use Google Workspace? I've just given an example. For me, I use the Drive to save my files. So for you, how do you use it currently? Even your personal, if it is your personal workspace, how do you currently use it? Just share with me in the comment section and be able to sample some of your responses. All right, so moving on. So we want to crack our heads and see what exactly is Google Workspace. I know majority of us were used to it being called G Suite. So yes, so Workspace is just a rebranded G Suite, and this is an example of a digital workspace. So digital workspaces generally are just help people work online, and you will need to have a stable internet, of course, for you to be even able to collaborate. So Google Workspace in particular is just a collection of cloud computing, productivity, and collaboration tools. So that means, for example, in your workspace, you have Google Drive, you have emails, for example, and probably you have Google Docs, Google Sheets, and what have you that you are collaborating together as employees in a particular business. So Google Workspace helps us to create documents, create spreadsheets, create Google Slides, and more. You can also store data, for example, on the drive, store information, and it is a cloud service that is being offered by Google. So even as we move on, what are some of the tools that are included in Google Workspace? Like I said, we have Gmail. We have calendar, yes. Probably you joined today's session because you had it in your calendar. We have Google Meet. You can use to have our meetings on it. We have Jamboard. We have admin console. We have slides. We have forms. You can use collect data from let's say your employees or people outside, and you can be able to see the responses. So just to note, we have a few tools such as Google Current. So Google Current, these are the newer ones that have come in on the Google Workspace, apart from the other ones that we are used to, like the likes of Google Drive. So these in entirety, they are together in one Workspace account, and you're going to look at how you use that uh, moving on. So like I said, one function of Google Workspace is you can create documents and presentations. So how do you create documents? For example, you can create documents using uh, Google Sheets, or you can create documents using, for example, um, just you can also record and analyze. You can do a presentation using Google Slides. You can do a presentation using Google Slides. You can brainstorm. You can manage ideas. For example, using Jamboard, you can put your ideas on Jamboard and they can be able to be seen by other people. You can communicate, let's say, by Google Meet or Gmail or email generally. So those are some of the core functions of Google Workspace. So Google Workspace is generally just a bit of what we know, but on a let's say on a commercial scale. So like I say, Google Docs is it's just like word processing for Teams. So you can create, edit text in your browser. You don't need any particular software, and you can have several people collaborating on one Google document. So if they have access to it, several people can collaborate at the same time, and you can be able to see that in the edits. Google Slides for it, this is for you to create presentations on it. So let's say you have a presentation you want to put up in a meeting, or you want to pitch to someone, you can use Google Slides to make your presentation online. And then you can also control how many people have edits to it, and can they edit, can they just view, can they only just add comments. You're able to also allow that in your documentation. So I will be just demonstrating that just to give us a note to be unfair to Microsoft, yeah, I feel for me Google Slides works better and more user friendly than PowerPoint because you see we can collaborate on it at the go. All right, so we have Google Forms. So let's say you want to get feedback about your business and some of the services that you're providing. One of the things is you could use the Google Form. So you create a form and then you ask responses from your clients. So they and then you collect that in the form, or you create a sheet for it to see the feedback that you are getting. So that's how you use the Google Form. So Google Sheets, for them, you can use them as spreadsheets just to see information organized. So it allows, just like I said, you can collaborate with anyone, anywhere. You can also, it's compatible. For example, as long as you're able to access the internet, you'll still be able to access all your Google Sheets from wherever you are. So changes are automatically saved. So unlike probably where in our normal sheets, like the one for Microsoft, you sometimes if you do not set your computer to auto save automatically, then you may lose data from it. But now with Google Sheets, it auto saves automatically. So if you enter something, it auto saves. You can be able to save, for example, the previous edits or the previous versions of that same documentation. So that is how Google Sheets helps us. So what are some of the benefits that we have from Google Workspace? Number one, and most importantly, is just to increase collaboration. So you can have three employees working on the same sheet at the same time. So probably you want to make 1,000 entries in one document. You could have three people making entries to it at the same time. It also improves communication. Like for example, probably I've seen this data and probably I don't agree with it. I can put a comment there and somebody will be able to see the notification to that comment and respond. It helps to work smarter. Like I said, you can have several people collaborating at the same time and enhances security. So security in terms of you can regulate which people have editorial rights, which people have viewership rights, and which people have comment rights. So those are some of the major benefits that we have from Google Workspace. So just to move to collaboration, how does it increase collaboration? Yes, it stores your information in the cloud. So once you have your information in the cloud, it means you can access it from wherever you are, whether it is with your phone or with your tablet or with your computer. So if necessarily you are not at office, doesn't necessarily mean you can't access the documentation. You can still be able to access it as long as you have a machine, which in this case could be a tablet, a phone, or a laptop, and you just log in your credentials and you'll be able to see. Number one, to share files, you only need to share a URL. Don't need to download the whole workspace to share it to whoever you, let's say you want to view the file. So you only share a link with them and they'll be able to see the documents or the files. It could be via email, via WhatsApp, whatever media you choose to share the information with. And also, it encourages teams to collaborate and share ideas. Like, for example, the example of Jamboard. So you can see once you have the link to the Jamboard, you can be able to see how the process of troubleshooting probably an idea has gone and where people are in that idea. You can be able to input your comments as well. You can restrict access. For example, you only want people to be able to view but not to do anything to the documentation. So you only give them view access. You can be able to track changes. Like I said, you can be able to check the last version, probably even the version of that document a week ago. What was it like? So which edits have been made to it since the last version. You can be able to see that. So that is how Google Workspace increases collaboration. How does it improve information? Example is Gmail. I just remember a long time ago, probably if you were born 1980s and 70s, people were using letters. Probably the 90s, people were using, let's say, phone calls, and sometimes you have to go to a booth and wait for there. So if somebody say, I'll call you at 4 o'clock, you have to stay in the booth at 4 o'clock to make sure you don't miss the call. So right now, and then we move to international calls, and sometimes if you don't have sufficient credit, you will not be able to make the call and communicate sufficiently. Right now we have the internet. So the internet has brought and made communication easier in terms of you can just send an email right now to someone in the US. They can be able to respond in less than 5 minutes, and you have gotten whatever you need. Additionally, you could just decide that let me just do a Google Meet with them, and you can be able to interact with them via video or audio. Google Currents, this one I will discuss later because this one has just come in. We have Google Chat. Google Chat, you can chat with them instantly, so you don't need necessarily, let's say, to um, use, let's say, for example, WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is not available in all countries. So there are countries that do not use WhatsApp, for example. If probably you want to chat with that person using the internet, you can use Google Chat. So Workspace has really come in to improve how we communicate with each other without any geographical boundaries. So how does it help us work smarter? Yes, let's say like I said, you need 1,000 entries made in one document. You could have 5 people working on that data at the same time, and so it helps you work smarter. And at the same time, you can analyze and see the insights from both customers and your teams in terms of, let's say, you've seen feedback, you can just look at it. From the feedback, you can create an Excel sheet. From the sheet, you can be able to sort out, draw, let's say, have charts from the insights. Also, it helps to streamline your workflows in terms of, you see, you don't have, for example, if you're using, you have no access to Workspace, you have to have that documentation in your laptop. If your laptop crashes, you have lost all data. But if you have that data on cloud in terms of Google Workspace, you still have the data whether or not the computer goes down. So that really helps us to work smarter. And finally, you can be able to securely store your files. Number one, only people who have access to it, you've granted access to it, will only well, those are the ones who will be able to see the documentation. So let's say even if you're using a computer and have a restricted access to it, you can only use it with a particular account. It means even if I give a machine, you'll not be able to have access to that. Another thing, since the data is stored in the cloud, it means you can access it from wherever or anywhere you are in the world. So how do you create a Google Workspace account? Let's say you are a business and you are wondering, how do I create a Google Workspace account? Number one, just share that in the comment section. So how do you create a Google Workspace account? Number one, you need to go to workspacegoogle.com. Yes, so I'll just try to demo that. All right. Good to see you, Rachel. I can see somebody is asking difference between Google Workspace and Google Business. Did you mean Google Business Profile or what exactly did you mean, Nelson? Kindly clarify before I respond to it kindly. So just let me know exactly what you meant by Google Business. Is it Google Business Profile or what exactly? Joe, you are not late. You're just right on time. I see smart digital well represented. Karibuni sana. So I'll just stop sharing my screen for a moment and just to help you see if you want to use Google Workspace, how do you begin or where do you go to? So number one. So let me just get the link first and then put my screen up. Okay, just a minute. So I'll be sharing my screen in a few. There you go now. So once you have you input workspace.google.com, This is the page you get to. So number one, you need to sign up. So how do you get started to it in creating your Google Workspace? Yes, once you sign up, they will ask for your business name. How many employees do you have? Why is this important? Because we have different packages for uh, the various number of employees you have. So if you have, let's say, 300 employees, it means your packages will be different. So you need to select, for example, let's say 10 to 99, my region is Kenya, and then go next. Then here you'll have to put your name, your last name, your current email address, and your phone business number. And then after you've added your contact, you will need to choose your domain. Remember Google Workspace account, you need to have an existing domain. Because for example, I know like you are in alias cohort. So let's say you usually receive your emails from area to each at Africa118. So we already have an existing domain that is Africa118.com. So when you get an email, so an email from area, for example, or you are in Brian's cohort, let's say you get the Taka at africa118.com. So that's a domain. So make sure you after you add your contact details and you go to the next step, you'll be asked for a domain. And then you add your business address. Where are you located? Are you located in Nairobi, Westlands, Digby Road, sixth floor, Rainbow Tower? Where are you located? And then set up your login details. Remember, there are different packages for Google Workspace and they cost differently. So I don't want to continue creating because if I continue creating, uh, I will need to create an account. I want to be able to create a demo account. Yes, Naomi, it is charged based on the package that you choose. So we have the minimum package that we have costs $6 a month. So if you're interested in having your workspace, you will have, and that will host up to 30 emails. Let's say like email number one could be awinnie at, and let's see, what's your business, Naomi? Let's see, let me use a smart digital. So it could be Winnie at smartdigital.com. The next person is Joe at smartdigital.com. The next one probably would be Naomi at smartdigital.com. Then like that, yes. So it is a payable service, Naomi. So moving on. So I'll stop sharing my screen in a moment. So those are the steps, like I said. So how do you get set up in your Google Workspace? Number one, you need to create your business email. So how do you create your business email? Like I said, number one, you need a domain and then create the master account. So the master account could be, in this case, let's say info at smartdigital.co.ke. So that could be the master account. And then from there, once you have the master business email, you can now add team members and users. Which in this case, like I said, it could be Winnie at smartdigital.co.ke. The next person could be Area at smartdigital. So you add all the members that you have, and then you can migrate and import all your data so that we have your data being held by these master account so that anyone who is within your team can be able to collaborate within it. Probably you're wondering what is the difference between the normal one that I have. The normal one that you have, number one, is not domain associated, and number two, you cannot collaborate on it unless we give you access in terms of your login details. So unless I give you login details to my account, you cannot go and edit anything on in any information in my drive. Yes. So as a business, probably you have documentation that you need team members to collaborate on. This is a chance for you to think about Google Workspace. So right now, I'll be posing for questions. If you have any questions or comments, share with me in the comment section. I'll be sampling a bit of them even as we proceed with the class. But so far, so good. So now moving into the next segment. So I want us to delve deeper into what Google Workspace can do for a business. So even before you consider like the costing, you need to see what can it do for your business and if this is something you want to continue having for your business. So number one, like I said, which tools can you use via Google Business Workspace to boost communication? One, I remember I talked about email, Gmail. I also talked about having Meet, Google Meet. So those are just some of the ways. So and then we have Current and we have Google Chat. So let's look at each tool individually. What exactly is Gmail and how can it help us? Number one, you can communicate globally, like I said, and remember Gmail is a free tool from Google. You can send files and attachments. You can create groups. So for example, you have a finance team, then you have the digital marketing team. So you can create groups for them so that when you send a message just to the finance team, so only the members in the finance team will see that email. If you decide you want to only communicate to the digital marketing team in your company, so only they are the ones who will be able to get your email. So you can create groups into your Google Workspace account so that only a particular select department gets the message. You can also integrate it with calendar so that you keep in touch with your personal and team too. So let's say once you invite them to a calendar and you're using a group, automatically all the members in your team will have their calendars activated. So they'll be able to be able to attend that meeting and not, let's say I forgot or something like that. So the latest Gmail makes it easier to also stay on top of work in terms of it's ad free, like you're not able to get ads on your Google account and like your normal Gmail. So there you don't get ads on your Workspace account. You can make voice calls, video calls, and what have you. And you can also build customer trust. How? Like for example, smart digital. If you get an email from Priya at smartdigital.com, you already know this is a reputable company. Rather than let's say I send you an email from uh, Priya or smartdigital at gmail.com. So that anyone can create it. So it helps to build your reputation and giving trust to your clients by giving you that professional email address that is domain based. You can also do suggestions such as smart reply, smart compose. So smart reply is where once you click reply, it will give you some of the suggestions of how you can respond back. It will give you some suggestions on grammar and such like things. Also, it keeps your information safe because only people who have access to the master only people who have access to the master account can be able to see the emails. So moving on to the next tool, Google Meet. So how will Google Meet help your team? It provides you with video conferencing. So you can be able to communicate with anyone who is anywhere and everywhere. It also takes advantage of Send Secure, like for example, in terms of privacy, like nobody can, let's say, join your Google Meet unless you give them access to join in. So it gives you some privacy, safeguard the privacy of your meeting. So if you only want to talk to the finance team, you didn't want anyone in the, let's say, marketing team to join it, only the finance team will be able to join it. So now we move on to currents. So what are Google currents? So this one is like you can create an internal group in terms of, you see, if you've ever used Slack, for example, like you can create an internal group and only specific people in that group can be able to communicate. So it's more like a community. So you're fostering a community. I would compare it probably to, let's say, um, I think Slack is the most ideal, but for those who have never used Slack, let's say a Facebook group. So, but now this one is only people who within that group know about the group existence and can collaborate, can communicate within that specific group. So it's meant to foster like discussions, people can discuss, put their suggestions there, put their ideas there, and you see even like people, those your employees who probably are working from home and they're not privy to every communication that you make in the office, they can still have access once that information is put on current. And then we have Google Chat. Google Chat, you could compare it, let's say, to SMS. So uh, they can be able, let's say, you can be able to chat on Google Chat. Let's say your employees are one works remotely, you've hired one remotely from Kisumu and your business is in Nairobi. You can do Google Chat with them. So moving on, what are some of the top tips of maximizing uh, communication? You need to recreate in-person communication. So what are some of the benefits of having in-person communication? Let's say you can be able to see my expressions. Like right now, you can be able to see the expressions, the way I'm communicating. You can be able to tell, like for example, if I'm here with you or not. So you need to recreate that in the online conversation so that you don't miss out. Sometimes online conversation feels, uh, let's say, monotonous, especially like you are not able to, you see, in a physical meeting, let's say you are putting an emphasis on a particular subject, somebody can really see you are very serious about it. And sometimes that can be lost in online conversation. So if you want to get the maximum impact, try to recreate that in-person conversation, even as you're doing your video chats or your video meetings with your teams or clients. Make sure you stay organized, stay as organized as possible. Like for example, if you're using Google Ads, make sure you put them in the right, you name your folder correctly, put them rightly so that when somebody comes to it, they don't look confused. Another thing, like I said, is creating a mailing list. So you have a finance team, you have, let's say, your clients or the clients that you have, let's say you group them. So I only want today to talk to the management. So I have a team for the management. So I'm sending communication strictly to the management. They'll be able to see it and respond and see the threats and do it. Also set a project or team rooms. So this is where Google Currents come in. So let's say you are working on a project and you have four people working on that project. One is Nakuru probably, another one is in Nairobi, the other one probably is joining in from Turkana. So on the Google Currents, they can be able, can put your project and people can brainstorm on it. So that's how you maximize your communications by using Google Workspace. All right. So I feel I have as talked about this, and just to echo a little bit is for example, regular calls and check-ins on Google Meet. You can brainstorm ideas, you can join with mobile or desktop. Yes, staying organized, like I said, is for example using the folders on your Google Drives. Creating a mailing list, you could do that and also use the calendar. Use the calendar to just get yourself organized. hmm And like I said, in terms of creating a mailing list, number one, like I said, you need to have a team. You can send status updates, you can share resources, you can increase visibility in terms of everybody can see where the conversation began and where we are right now. And lastly, on your projects and teams, like I said, you could create rooms by, let's say, even creating Google by using Google Chat or using Google Currents, just to foster that community. Share your ideas there, share your best practices there, just to give us a sense of community. I feel when Corona came, that's one thing it really took from us, that sense of community. Especially when you are in lockdown, you can't go to your grandma in the village. You a bit lost. Probably if you are this person who are visiting people every other weekend, you are not able to do that. So a bit of that community um, belonging or sense got lost. So you could use these team rooms and Google Cameras to even foster that. So any questions at this step even as we proceed? Any questions? Let me check the comment section. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be able to look at it and respond. Yes. Hello Dan, welcome. You are from Nishati. You're listening from Kisumu. How is Kisumu? I know there's a mega event there over there with the UN going on. Are you aware? Are you aware and are you participating in it? All right. So I can see so far we don't have questions. We shall proceed to our next part of our presentation. All right. So now the last bit or segment that I want to look at is how do we leverage the tools to increase collaboration? How do we leverage the tools to increase collaboration? So just to say which tools can we use to increase collaboration? Like I said, we have the examples of Gmail, we have Google Meet, we have Drive, we could use Drive, we could use Google Sheets. So just a few examples that we are able to use. So how do we increase collaboration? Number one is brainstorming ideas. You could use the likes of Jamboard, and you're going to explain further what exactly is this Jamboard thing that I'm talking about. How do we increase collaboration is sharing working files. So like for example, the finance team could be working on the same file, the marketing team giving their reports on a different file, but they have access to it. You could make suggestions and tag colleagues. Yes, you can tag colleagues on a document and they can be able to make comments and also track changes. Like you want to see last week, where were we and how are we doing this week? You can just check the last week's version of the document and see where we are this week. So just to get us started, number one on Jamboard. So what is Jamboard? So with Jamboard, you can write and you can draw. So it has a mark of a pencil. So you can actually draw a design on it, write it on it. You can resize your text. You can use your images even with your fingers. And the beautiful thing is you can have up to 50 people working on Jamboard at once. So let's say this person has begun this design and somebody is thinking, probably if we add this segment in it, that person can just do that on the same Jamboard sheet as long as they are within 50 and below. So you can create, edit or share jams on your phone, tablet or computer. You can open them wherever you are from. Another thing, you could also join your computer with the Jamboard so that you display it, let's say, on a bigger screen. So let's say you have a team of 10 people and you're working on a Jamboard, you can be able to display that Jamboard on a big screen so that everybody can see it clearly. So those are just some of the bits that you can use on Jamboard. So if you're wondering what is this Jamboard, I'll just share a link. I'll just share a link. You can look at it after this class just to see how that goes with you. All right, let me just share that. Yes, so that's where you'll be able to get the Jamboard link, and then from there you can be able to see if you can use it or if you have any questions on it. Google Drive, like I said, you could store files on a cloud. So let me just show you a bit of that. Let me just demonstrate a bit of that. All right, just a moment. Let me have a cup of water and then we can proceed with the class. All right, we are back. Yes, let us proceed. So, Google Drive. How do you use Google Drive? I'm sure, let's say, let me just do a small demo on it. Just do a small demo on it. Let me share my screen. So, I'll just show you a bit of my drive. So, you can see in this yes, let me just change this a bit. All right. So this is an example of a Workspace account, yes, that we use here in the office. So you can see I just try to open something. Yes, for example, a Teams here. Just a moment. Let me just see if you can be able to see that on the screen. All right. So these are the drives that we collaborate on. You can see there are so many people with every one of them. We have different people who have access to it. So here, so if you want to, you can go to see. We have Google Docs, we have Sheets, we have slides, we have forms, and we have more. So if I want to go to the Sheets, I just click to it. It has opened a different. Let me project that. It has opened a new tab. Let me project the tab that has been opened. So here, so I've opened a new spreadsheet. So if I have data, I could put that. And then here, I can collaborate. You can see this is private to me. I can rename it for the purposes of this class. Let me just see. And then here, I can be able to add people. All the, let's say the employees that I want to have access to this, I could add them. So let's say I add, so I just add um, another email account. So once I have added that, yes, I can decide here to add them as editor. So once if I add them as editor, they'll be able to edit their file. If I add them as a viewer, then it means they will be only able to see the file, but they cannot do edits to it. So let's say I want to hear the feedback on it, I will add them as a commenter. So once I add them as a commenter and I send them, they'll be able to get an invite link, and then now they'll be able to collaborate with me. So once I add here a document, somebody could add just below me at the same time, another person just below me. So all of us are working in this same document without necessarily lagging or something like that. So those are some of the capabilities that Google Workspace allows us to have. So let us just proceed. Another thing, let's just proceed with the class. All right, all right. Let me put back my presentation. Hmm. Yes, so that is with so you can tag someone. So let's say I want somebody to comment on that. I can just add a comment to it. You just click on one of those cells and you add a comment real time and they'll be able to respond to your comment. So or suggestion probably you're like, this was updated, you're telling the other person this was updated today at 8 p.m. That client has already made payment. So you can put a comment there and they can be able to see it, get the notification and do the necessary. You can be able to track changes. Like for example, you want to see what has been worked on since yesterday. So you can be able to see the last edits that were made yesterday. Can be able to then you compare it today and you'll be able to see what difference it is. All right, yes. So even as we proceed, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section and be able to sample them, respond to them even as I move forward. So just to remind us again, so we have a free Google Hustle Academy Bootcamp. So this is a very, if you've not signed up, please sign up. It's a very interesting bootcamp that you will learn everything about business from finances to pitching to investors to what you need in your investment journey, such like things. So very important. Please make sure you sign. I can see somebody is saying the screen is too small and here is not visible. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure what's happening, Francis, from your side, but I believe everyone else will be able to see. Don't know why if it's hazy because I can see it's clear. And try to reload it again and see if it would have a better experience. So, like I said, we have an available free bootcamp from Google, and this is a week-long bootcamp. You'll be able to learn, like I said, everything from business planning, from finances, all the way to digital marketing, all the way to pitching, all the way to how do you present to your investors, and finally, you'll be able to be assigned a mentor to help you just with a few things. So I would encourage all of us here to join in. My monitor will reshare the link in the comment section for those who missed out the first time. So what are the next steps? So we've learned about a bit about Workspace, and probably you are thinking, probably that's something I want to have in my business. Where do you go from now? So number one, the next steps, you go to learndigital.withgoogle.com. Remember, today's session is just a beginning. You cannot be able to understand everything in one session. So you want to learn more. You want to, uh, let's say, expand your knowledge in one section of the Google Workspace. So yes, you can go to learndigital.withgoogle slash digital skills slash courses. You'll be able to get all the courses that you need for your businesses. So my moderator will share that. My moderator will share that in the comment section. Remember also we are social. So find us on Facebook. We are at facebook.com/digital skills for Africa. We are also at on Twitter. We are at Digital Skills AF. On Instagram, we are at Digital Skills AF. Why is it important to follow us on social media? Yes, the things such as Google Hustle Academy, you will find such information there. So if Google has a program that they are targeting SMEs and trying to help SMEs, that is where you will get that information from. You could give them feedback. Let's say you attend the bootcamp and probably you want them to improve a thing or two, or probably you think this is the way Google could support SMEs. That is where you put that information. So follow us. Remember also to subscribe to our channel at africa118.com, at africa118 rather, and you'll be able to get notifications if we have any follow-up trainings, and also follow our Facebook page. I know you are here from the Digital Launchpad team, so follow us also on Facebook at the Digital Launchpad program. You'll be able to see where we are in terms of the program. So let me just check the comment section again to see I have not missed anything. Njoki, which area are you struggling with? Probably, let me wait to just hear that. Where are you struggling with? Or if it is a Google Workspace and you're struggling with Google Workspace and you want to learn more, just reach out to your digital marketing specialist or your DMS or your cohort leader, and they'll be able to walk you through the Google Workspace. if you need a bit of clarity on that. I hope that is what you're talking about. But if that is not it, just share in the comment section and shed more light to it. So I'll be waiting for you and give you a minute to even just share your question. But it has been my pleasure even to join you people today. Like I said, I'm joining you from Nairobi City. Glad to have you on board. Okay, all social media platforms, yes, are very, very important. Just go to except WhatsApp. Oh, I see. Do you know how to use WhatsApp business? All right. Anyway, that is why you have a DNS assigned to you, to your business. You go ask those questions, all the areas that you think you need clarity on with your social media platforms. Talk to your DNS about it, and they'll be able to give you guidance, give you coaching and mentorship. For that is one of the reasons why you are in the program to begin with. So you are at the right place and you'll be able to get help. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, even Joki, for that. And thank you so much. We'll be able to add, I'm sure your DNS has noted that and they will be looking at it. But even so, still you are allowed to call them. Call them, ask them those questions, use all the help that you can get from the program. Has been my pleasure to host you today, and we have come to the end of our today's class. Thank you so much. My moderator has been Elia, and my name is Winnie. Have a lovely evening, and God bless. Bye bye. Thank you.